September 7 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a living appointment written in the heavens before you were even aware of it. A day charged with divine energy, a day when the unseen breaks through the visible, and what felt routine suddenly bends under the weight of glory. This is not coincidence. This is design. The air around you will not feel the same, because September 7th carries a pulse, a vibration that your spirit has already begun to sense. Chosen one, if these words have reached your ears, it is not by chance. It is because heaven has marked your name, and this word belongs exclusively to you. This is a message that pulls you out of the ordinary and demands your attention, because the atmosphere of your life is about to shift in ways that no human hand could have orchestrated. You are standing on the edge of a holy surprise, and if you stay with me until the very end, you will understand why this moment is unlike anything you have ever known. So prepare your spirit, open your heart, and align yourself, because the prophetic alarm has sounded and it is ringing for you. And before we go further, seal this moment with an act of faith. Like this video, subscribe if you have not yet, and type the number 99 in the comments. Why 99? Because it is the sign of alignment, the symbol that heaven sees you, that you are in agreement with the divine plan, and that you are declaring, I will not miss what is prepared for me on September 7th. Before any divine surprise is revealed, there is always a season of hidden preparation, a secret weaving that happens behind the veil where human eyes cannot see. September 7th is not arriving empty. It has been carefully designed, layer by layer, like a tapestry only heaven could create. You may have wondered why so many doors seemed delayed, why silence stretched longer than you thought you could endure, why prayers felt as though they vanished into the void. But what you could not see was the orchestration happening above your timeline, movements too precise, too delicate to be rushed. Every moment of stillness was not wasted. It was divine architecture. Heaven was preparing a stage for what is about to be unveiled. Think about this. When a seed is planted, nothing appears above the ground at first. Days, weeks, sometimes even months pass, and the soil looks the same, lifeless, unchanged. Yet beneath the surface, roots are spreading, networks are forming, life is quietly expanding. That is exactly what has been happening in your life leading up to September 7th. What looked like delay was actually foundation. What looked like silence was strategy. Every unanswered prayer you thought was ignored has been stored, layered, and positioned to explode into manifestation at the right second. There are people right now being positioned without knowing why. A conversation you have not had yet is already planned. An opportunity you never applied for is already carrying your name. A door you thought was closed permanently is being oiled by unseen hands, ready to swing wide at the precise moment. This is the preparation that makes September 7th different from every other day. It is not random. It is rehearsed by heaven itself. And when heaven prepares, it does so with an accuracy that human logic cannot anticipate. But here is the mystery. You were not supposed to see any of this ahead of time. If you had seen the details too soon, you might have tried to control them, to force them, to manipulate the timing. That is why heaven kept it hidden, sealed away in silence, while your spirit was quietly being stretched, strengthened, and sharpened. Every tear, every lonely night, every moment of frustration was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being trained in patience so that when the moment arrives, you will not sabotage it with fear or doubt. And now, chosen one, you are closer than ever. September 7th has already been set into motion, and nothing can reverse what has been decreed. Think about this. How many times did you almost give up, only to feel a small push inside whispering, "Keep going, just a little longer"? That was not your imagination. That was heaven ensuring you stayed aligned, because the appointed day was already on the calendar of eternity. Here lies the urgency. September 7th is not just about receiving a gift. It is about realizing that the delay itself was divine proof of the gift's importance. If it came too soon, you would not have been ready. If it came in your timing, it would not have been complete. But because it comes in God's timing, it will arrive finished, perfected, undeniable. And when it does, you will see that every unanswered prayer was not a denial, but a deposit, gathering interest, waiting to be released in one single outpouring. So as you listen now, ask yourself, what if the silence was not empty at all? What if the quiet nights were the sound of heaven working overtime? What if the unanswered prayers were seeds waiting for this exact date? On September 7th, those questions will no longer be questions. They will be answers. And here is the climax. The stage has already been set. The lights of heaven are about to turn on, and in one moment, you will understand why nothing made sense before. The silence is about to break, and when it does, you will realize you were never waiting for the day. The day was waiting for you. There are days that pass like a whisper, quiet and almost invisible, blending into the ordinary flow of life. But then there are days that break the pattern, days that feel like thunder cracking open the sky, days where the unseen hand of God pushes everything into motion. September 7 is one of those days. It will not tiptoe into your life. It will arrive as a sudden turning point, shifting the axis of your journey in ways you never saw coming. You may wake up that morning believing it to be ordinary, but before the day is over, something irreversible will have changed in your atmosphere. This is not a shift you can control, and that is what makes it so powerful. Divine interruptions rarely ask for permission. They break through routines, schedules, and expectations with perfect timing. You could be doing something mundane, something as simple as checking your phone, answering an email, walking into a store, and suddenly, an encounter, a message, a revelation drops into your life with precision. And in that moment you realize, this was no coincidence. This was the day heaven decided to intervene. Imagine a locked door that you have been pushing against for years, exhausting yourself, thinking it would never move. Then, without warning, it swings open effortlessly. Not because you forced it, but because the right key was finally turned at the right time. That is what September 7th will feel like. The doors you could not open, the conversations you could not initiate, the opportunities you could not reach, all will open of their own accord. And you will know it was not your strength, but divine orchestration breaking your routine. But here lies the mystery. Sudden shifts often come disguised. They don't always appear with flashing lights or loud announcements. Sometimes they arrive as a gentle nudge that turns into a tidal wave. A simple yes from someone, an unexpected invitation, a piece of information that seems small at first. But by nightfall, you realize it was the beginning of something massive. The sacred surprise of September 7th will carry that same signature, subtle at the start, undeniable in its unfolding. And do not underestimate how disruptive divine timing can feel. When the rhythm of your life changes, it can be unsettling. You may feel a rush of uncertainty, a sense of being pulled into something bigger than yourself. That is because heaven's interruption does not fit inside your comfort zone. It stretches you, pulls you, and demands that you see beyond what you thought was possible. What you considered a routine day will reveal itself as the day destiny invaded your timeline. This is why you cannot approach September 7th with a passive heart. You must be awake, alert, and spiritually sensitive. Because when the shift comes, hesitation could cause you to miss the fullness of what is being offered. Think of it like a train that stops only once. You must be ready to step on board, even if the timing feels inconvenient. That sudden opening, that divine conversation, that unexpected call, will not wait forever. It is your moment, chosen specifically for you, and if you seize it, it will carry you into places you never thought you would enter. But here is the urgency. This shift is not only about opportunity, it is about alignment. When the rhythm of your life changes, so does the direction of your future. One divine interruption can reroute years of wandering, collapsing delays, and accelerating blessings. What once seemed far away suddenly becomes reachable. What felt locked behind time suddenly stands in front of you, asking to be received. September 7th will carry that acceleration, collapsing years into moments, and showing you what happens when heaven bends your path toward destiny. So prepare yourself, chosen one, because this is not just another day. It is a sacred collision between the ordinary and the divine. Your routine is about to be broken, and your journey will never return to its old rhythm. And here is where the tension rises. You will feel the ground shift beneath your feet, doors unlocking without your touch, conversations pulling you into new territory, and the realization will strike. You are living in the day that heaven marked. September 7th will not leave you the same, because it was never meant to. It was meant to interrupt, to awaken, to propel you. And just as you begin to grasp the weight of it, you will sense that this is only the beginning, that something even greater is waiting in the shadows of this turning point. Every move of heaven carries intention, but not every move is designed for everyone. September 7th will not be a broadcast blessing scattered loosely across the earth. It will be a direct message from God to you, inscribed with your name, carrying details no one else could possibly understand. This is not a coincidence, and it is not generic. It is a signature moment, crafted with divine precision, fitting into your life like a key that has been carved to fit only one lock, yours. Think for a moment about how personal God has always been with His chosen ones. He does not send light randomly into the sky. He sends a star to guide the wise. He does not simply deliver freedom. He parts a sea for His people alone. And when Jesus healed, He did not just touch crowds blindly. He looked into the eyes of individuals. He called them by name. He knew the details of their suffering. In the same way, September 7th will carry a fingerprint so personal, so exact, that no one will be able to convince you it was just chance. You will know. Your spirit will recognize it instantly. The beauty of this surprise is that it will not look the same for everyone, because it is not meant for everyone. For one person, it may be a door that finally opens after years of resistance. For another, it may be a conversation that restores what was thought to be permanently broken. For you, it will be exactly what you need, not in theory, but in reality. Where you lacked, provision will appear. Where you doubted, clarity will flood in. Where you wrestled with restlessness, peace will settle like a blanket over your soul. And you will recognize the author, because no human could orchestrate such perfect timing. And here lies the mystery. Others around you may not even notice. To them, September 7th may pass like an ordinary date, just another box to check on the calendar. But that is the beauty of divine personalization. When God sends something for you, it does not have to be recognized by the crowd. It only has to be received by you. Your friends may not understand why your spirit feels different. Your coworkers may not grasp why you cannot stop smiling. Your family may not even see the shift at first. But you will know. The evidence will be in the peace that cannot be shaken, the alignment that cannot be denied, the exactness that cannot be explained by human logic. This is why it is crucial not to compare your journey to others, because your September 7th surprise has been tailored for your process, your struggles, your prayers. What someone else receives will not diminish what is being delivered to you. If anything, it is proof that God is not random. He is intentional. He designs blessings with fingerprints, and your fingerprint has been pressed onto this moment in eternity. But let me press deeper. This personalization is not only about what you will receive, but about what it reveals. It will reveal that your tears were counted, that your silence was noticed, that your hidden sacrifices were never ignored. The details of this blessing will match the details of your pain. Where you were broken, it will bring wholeness. Where you were overlooked, it will bring recognition. Where you were left empty, it will bring abundance. And in that revelation, you will feel the most profound truth. I was never forgotten. That is the mark of God. Not just to give you something good, but to give you something so exact, so intricately timed, that your doubts melt under the weight of His attention. Others may call it luck. They may try to rationalize it as coincidence. But deep down, you will know. This was heaven, writing directly into my story. And once you know that, you can never return to the old way of thinking. And here is where the urgency rises. Because if God has marked this surprise for you, it means He expects you to receive it fully, not with hesitation, not with fear, but with open hands. Do not let insecurity rob you of it. Do not let doubt convince you that it is too good to be true. If it carries His mark, it belongs to you. And when it arrives, embrace it completely, because it will be your confirmation that the unseen hand has been guiding you all along. So brace yourself, chosen one, because this is not just about a date, it is about the author signing his name across your life. September 7th will come with precision, with undeniable evidence, with the unmistakable stamp of heaven. And here lies the small climax that keeps your spirit leaning forward. You will not simply receive what you asked for, you will receive what you never even dared to imagine. And when it unfolds, you will whisper to yourself the words that will echo in your soul forever. This was written for me. Do not be surprised if the days leading up to September 7th feel heavier than usual. Pressure always intensifies before a release. The closer you move toward a divine appointment, the more the atmosphere around you shakes, because the unseen realm knows what is about to be delivered into your life. Resistance is not a sign that you are abandoned. It is confirmation that you are approaching something the enemy desperately wants you to miss. And here lies the mystery. The greatest battles are often fought in silence, in your thoughts, in your emotions, in the hidden places no one else can see. That is why you may have felt unusual restlessness, strange distractions, sudden doubts, even unexpected conflicts rising out of nowhere. These are not random. They are strategic attempts to pull you off course. The enemy cannot stop what heaven has already decreed, but he can try to distract you enough to make you doubt, delay, or walk away. That is why in these days before September 7th, you may notice things breaking unexpectedly, people misunderstanding you, emotions fluctuating, or even physical exhaustion setting in. These are tactics meant to wear you down, to whisper lies like, "Nothing is coming," or "You were wrong to believe." But here is the revelation. The intensity of this resistance is the clearest evidence that your breakthrough is closer than ever. The enemy does not fight empty places. He fights places where treasure is buried. Think about this. A thief does not waste time breaking into an empty house. He targets the one filled with valuables. That is exactly why your life has felt like a battlefield. It is because heaven has stored something valuable for you, and the closer you get to unlocking it, the harder the opposition presses. But instead of seeing this as defeat, see it as proof. The very fact that you are under attack means you are dangerous to the darkness and essential to the light. And let's go deeper. Sometimes the battle is not external at all, but internal. You may feel waves of fear, questions about your worth, flashbacks of past failures trying to convince you that you are not ready. These voices rise louder right before a breakthrough because the enemy has no new weapons. He only recycles old ones, hoping you will still fall for them. But this time, you will not. Why? Because you now recognize the pattern. You now understand that opposition is not a sign to retreat. It is the announcement that the door is about to open. This is why you must remain steady. Do not make impulsive decisions. Do not allow sudden conflicts to drag you into unnecessary battles. Do not waste energy fighting distractions that only exist to drain your focus. Instead, lift your eyes higher. Anchor yourself in the promise, not the chaos. Because on the other side of this tension lies the shift you have been waiting for. The very storm that tries to sink you will become the proof that the shore is near. Urgency is rising here. The 7th is not far. Every distraction you face in these final moments is designed to blind you from the glory that is almost in your grasp. But if you endure, if you hold your ground, you will see the very things that tried to break you turn into stepping stones toward your breakthrough. Remember this, gold is always tested in fire before it is revealed in beauty. And you, chosen one, are in the fire only because you carry the weight of something pure. So when the resistance comes, smile. When the pressure builds, stand taller. When the whispers of doubt try to invade your spirit, silence them with this truth. If the battle is fierce, it is because the breakthrough is massive. The fight is not proof that you are losing. It is proof that heaven is about to deliver. And here is where the suspense sharpens. The closer you step toward September 7th, the more the battle will try to rise. But do not mistake the shaking for destruction. It is simply the sound of chains breaking, barriers falling, and doors unlocking. And just when it feels unbearable, when the weight seems too heavy, you will realize the truth. The breaking point was never meant to crush you. It was meant to push you into the very moment you were created for. September 7 is not simply a spark that flares for a moment and fades. It is a doorway into an entirely new dimension of your life. The difference between an event and a transformation is this. An event touches you for a second, but a transformation rewrites your story. What begins on that day will not conclude when the sun sets. It will establish a rhythm, a new current flowing through your destiny, pulling you forward into a future you could not have designed on your own. This is why you cannot see September 7th as a single appointment. It is the ignition of a season that will carry you into territories you once thought unreachable. The weight you have been carrying, the invisible burdens that pressed against your chest, will finally begin to lift. Not because the circumstances magically disappeared, but because the power of heaven will realign how you walk through them. Where you once struggled under pressure, you will feel lightness. Where silence surrounded your prayers, you will hear echoes of answers beginning to manifest. It will be as though the atmosphere itself shifts, like a room filling with oxygen after being starved of air. Suddenly you will breathe again. Suddenly the heaviness will be gone. And here is the profound revelation. What you thought were forgotten prayers were never lost. They were planted. Seeds hidden deep, waiting for divine timing. September 7 will be the moment those seeds break the surface, sprouting before your very eyes. You will see things align so perfectly that you will know without doubt this was written long ago. Every no you received, every delay that frustrated you, every closed door that wounded you, they will suddenly make sense because they were never rejection, only redirection. But transformation does more than answer questions. It changes identity. On September 7th, you will not walk away as the same version of yourself who entered that day. The trials you endured were training you for this unveiling. Your voice will carry new weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your steps will no longer drag in uncertainty but move with authority. People around you may sense the difference before you even notice it in yourself. Some may not understand it. Others may even resist it. But those sensitive to the Spirit will recognize immediately. Something changed in them. The beauty of divine transformation is that it multiplies. It does not stop with you. It extends outward, touching those connected to your life. Your testimony will become a spark for someone else's faith. Your breakthrough will create ripples that inspire others to keep believing, to keep standing, to keep waiting for their appointed time. What God begins in you on September 7th is not only for you, it is for those who will witness the shift and find hope for their own journey. And yet, there is also mystery here. Transformation is rarely loud. It does not always come with trumpets and headlines. Sometimes it arrives quietly, like a gentle wind, and only those who are attentive can perceive its magnitude. Do not underestimate the subtle changes that begin that day. A conversation that softens a hardened heart. A small decision that alters your path. An unexpected message that opens a new opportunity. These may look ordinary at first glance, but they will prove to be monumental when you look back. The urgency, chosen one, is to be ready not just for the surprise, but for the shift that follows. Because the greatest danger after a breakthrough is treating it as temporary. September 7th is not a moment to enjoy and forget. It is the launch pad into a new era. Your responsibility is to step into it fully, to adjust your thinking, to embrace the new identity, and to walk boldly into the chapter that heaven has written for you. And here lies the small climax that will keep you leaning forward. What is coming will not only change what you have, it will change who you are. The surprise will open the door, but the transformation will teach you how to live inside it. And as you cross that threshold, you will realize that this was never just about one day. It was about unlocking the destiny that was waiting for you all along. Chosen one, the moment is at hand. September 7th has not been whispered by chance. It has been carved into the eternal script of your life, prepared long before your eyes ever opened to this world. This is not an ordinary day waiting for you. It is a summons, a divine collision where heaven will touch your reality in a way that cannot be denied. Do not walk into it casually. Do not cross it half asleep. Step into it awake, burning with expectation, alive with the certainty that destiny is about to open before you. This is your signal that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never overlooked. Every hidden battle, every silent tear, every unanswered question has been leading you here. September 7th is not just a date, it is the key that turns the lock, the trumpet that announces your shift, the signature of God etched across your story. And when it arrives, you will know by the unmistakable weight of peace, by the exactness of its timing, by the fire it ignites in your spirit. But this requires your agreement. Heaven can open the door, but only you can walk through it. So I am calling you now, not just as a listener, but as a participant in this prophetic word. Declare it with boldness. Let your faith rise. Let your agreement echo in the atmosphere. I am ready for my divine surprise. Type it into the comments, not as routine, but as covenant, as a seal of faith that heaven will recognize and honor. That declaration is not empty. It is your alignment, your yes, your mark, that you refuse to miss what has been prepared. So prepare your heart, expect the unexpected, stand ready to receive. The shift is not in the distance. It is not for another season. It is not waiting on someone else. It is yours, and it begins on September 7th. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your confirmation. The alarm has sounded. The heavens have moved, and now the earth will respond. Chosen one, walk into it with courage, with vision, with unstoppable faith. The countdown has ended. The curtain is rising. The new chapter begins. And when the day breaks, let these words thunder in your spirit. It is here. It is now. It is mine.